Citizen Media News. Hi, this is Roger. We are here at the Faith and Freedom Coalition Salt and Light Conference, and I have an opportunity to sit down with my friend, Sandy Smith. Anything exciting happened yesterday?
Oh, just a couple little things. We had a fantastic Trump rally in Wilmington, North Carolina, and President Trump officially endorsed my campaign from the stage.
Wow.
We're also joined by several terrific new candidates for Congress, and these are great people. I've endorsed them all. Sandy Smith from North Carolina's 1st Congressional District. Sandy, and you have my total endorsement, and you get out and win that race, and you have a lot of congressmen, I'll tell you, including Scott. He called me so many times, I said, just stop calling me. But he loves Sandy, so good luck, okay? Good luck. She's going to be terrific. Thanks, Sandy.
And before that, we gave a knock it out of the park speech, and we got everyone fired up and ready for President Trump. It was fantastic. The energy was off the hook.
Wow, you just told me that like 2 minutes ago. We were here last night, so I haven't seen it. And I just know how powerful that is. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a huge honor, and the support is so strong. They see that the district is now a district that we can pick up and win. We have laid the groundwork. We have the plan. We're ready to execute and take action.
I know we've talked before, and I've had you on, and we've got plenty of videos. But just kind of recapping, where are you at right now? What are the top 3 things you're covering right now, and how's it morphed over the time as your campaign has evolved, and we're getting within two months of election? And
Sure. Well, we're focusing on the America First agenda, and that's really what folks need to understand. The Democrats have destroyed our country and just taken us down the wrong path, and they have no plan. We as Republicans have a plan. We need to help our families. We need to put families first. It's really sad that families are struggling to put food on the table. I mean, when you're paying $3 for a dozen eggs and $5 for a gallon of milk, or even 10 or $15 sometimes for a chicken. I mean, it's difficult, especially the single moms out there. You got the truck drivers that are struggling because they're under those government mandates and can barely.
I mean, milk and gasoline are competing with each other for a higher price for a gallon.
Absolutely, and this is the thing. What President Biden has done right now, I should say Joe Biden, because I don't like using that term because I don't think it's appropriate, the title, but Joe Biden is now drained our oil reserves and to artificially lower our gas prices here in North Carolina. So people need to understand that after November 8th, our gas prices are going to skyrocket because there's no reason for them to.
Well, the proof of that is we knew the gas prices were going to skyrocket when he took office, and they surely did.
Oh, absolutely. When you shut down our Keystone Pipeline.
And so you're saying that history is going to repeat itself once they get through the sensationalism of this election. You're saying it's going to go back up again?
Absolutely. If Democrats keep control of the House and the Senate, absolutely. We see what one party control does to this country. It is so imperative that we take back the House and the Senate so we can definitely keep Joe Biden in check. We got senior citizens, and the folks haven't even talked about this. We're approaching winter. We have people that are not sure if they're going to even be able to afford gas to heat their home.
Wow. When you become Congresswoman, what can you do to combat this, even if we don't get the majority back?
Well, what we have to do, we have to get the majority back, or we are going to be, in a very bad, dark place here in North Carolina. But when we do because we're going to take back control of the House. We have to make sure that we pass legislation to open up our Keystone Pipeline. All of this pain that we are suffering is totally self-inflicted from the Democrats. Joe Biden signed this and stopped and closed down our XL pipeline. And that has a ripple effect across the country and across industries. I mean, people don't understand how much petroleum oil goes into so many things in our country. I mean, products that we use every day, the trucks to transport our goods. I mean, you can go on and on. even to heat the chicken houses. I mean, so you think about it.
Heat the chicken house.
No, heat it up.
I know. Heat the chicken house. Yeah, you're keeping the chickens warm.
You got to, exactly. And if we can't keep,
you need your chickens comfortable.
Yes, we do, or we don't have no chicken.
How do you make your chickens? How do you cook your chickens? What do you use?
Well, I actually like fried chicken.
So how do you cook it?
How do I cook it? With a frying pan.
Yes, which is a perfect segue. I'm going to tell you, Sandy and I know Sandy on a personal level. I know her whole family. And I am telling you that I am so angry at what these people are treating her, how they're treating her, her family, her daughter. It's just a complete abomination. And I'll tell you something else. They stole one of my videos to use in a commercial against her. It was the kickoff kickoff event there in Greenville. We were standing next to your bus, and they used that video to create a commercial to work against you. And I want you to know that I am a great judge of character. It's a skill that I learned from being a warrant officer in the Army. It's something you have to gain being in the military for 20 years, because you get thrown in with a whole bunch of new guys in some far-off country somewhere, and you got to figure out who the folks are that you're going to get along best with, the ones that are going to have your back, and things like that. Sandy is that person. Sandy, her husband Scott, her daughter, just amazing people. And I think it's just despicable what the Democrat is doing, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Shamed.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a perfect example of what the Democrats know how to do. They know how to lie, cheat, and steal. I mean, they stole your video. They lied about me. That's because they have nothing to stand on, and they're all about destruction. But I'll tell you what, they try to, make that accusation about a frying pan. But I got to ask you folks, what good Southern woman doesn't have a frying pan and a rolling pin in her hand? But so, they can throw all this garbage all they want, but it's not getting the traction that they hoped. And a matter of fact, it's infuriating voters because they know the truth. They don't want to release the details. If you read these attack ads, they use special words, because you know how Democrats are always like, they change their words, they're very selective on their words, allegedly, because they know it's not true. See, the folks don't want to, the garbage about my daughter, what's really interesting is those folks don't want to tell you, the Democrats don't want to tell you that I've been fighting groomers longer than most people even knew what the word was. And what they don't want to tell you is the folks that made those accusations were actually criminally charged and convicted. But they don't want to tell you that kind of stuff. But they're gonna lie, cheat, and steal because that's all they know how to do, and that's what we need to make sure Americans understand. We got to have folks with a plan, and you're gonna fight.
Well, the reason why she uses that phrase "lie, cheat, or steal" is because her daughter, she's a Marine mom, and being military, that's a phrase that we use. We will not lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate that those that do. And it's just I'm so beside myself with anger. I mean, we're dealing with this stuff with Joe Biden's level, but here locally in North Carolina, we should not have to deal with this. And one step further, where you're talking about the lies and the misnomers and all this stuff, you don't hear what their causes are, and you don't hear what their platform is, and you have no idea what they're going to be doing.
Oh, that's because they don't have anything. The only thing they have is they want to kill babies on demand, meaning after the point of birth. Some Democrats are actually pushing for legislation to kill babies 30 days after they're born. This is disgusting. They want to tax us. They want to raise our taxes. They want you to pay for some other person's college degree in gender studies because they can't get a job. Well, duh, you're the one who went to school for that. But that's unfair to the plumbers, to the truck drivers, to the waitresses, to the factory workers, the folks like me who worked hard and had to save money to go to college and to help their kids get in college and went without. These folks are thinking, oh, we get to pay for their college.
What happens if you chose to go to a welding school and you didn't go to college? And you're out there working, you're a linesman, you went to school to become a linesman. It's not necessarily traditional college education. You're not going to get reimbursed for that.
That's right, and that's unfair. That is not the American dream. If you want to go to college, you should have to pay for your college. It should not be paid by tax dollars and taxpayers, I should say. And honestly, the government needs to get out of education. They're the cause of this, if you think of it. The skyrocketing cost of college. I mean, it's crazy. But it's, the Democrats, all they know how to do, tax and spend. And we've seen that firsthand. The inflation's out of control. We haven't seen inflation like we have in decades. I don't think even in our lifetime. And we're not that old.
But it's only 8.6. It's only 8.4. We haven't seen a surge in the last few months. So it's good.
Exactly.
That's what Biden said.
Bottom line is, American families, especially here in North Carolina, are taking less money home, and at the end of the day, and that's hurting folks. Look at, you saw the interest rates just went up. I mean, they're talking about, first-time home buyers. It's crazy the amount they're going to have to pay for a house, and I'm not talking a big, large mansion. We're talking
What is the overarching reason for all this? There's a theory that there's three things that drive men. A general term men, mankind type of thing. Sex, money, and power. So how does all this stuff that they're doing, what are they seeking for? I mean, is it one of those three? Is it something more severe than that? Is it something more devious than that?
It's actually, it's money and power. And some might even say it's all three in some aspects and with some situations. But no, they know if they have the power, they control the people. That's why they're attacking our food supply. Have you guys, I don't know if you've read recently, that China is buying farmland and property all over the country, especially next to our military bases, which should be extremely alarming. On top of that, we have the Chinese are invested in our food chain in these manufacturing plants. And, I think it's Smithfield, don't quote me on that, but I think it's one of them. But it's crazy. They understand if they control the food chain, the food supply, they control the people. They're seeing that over in Europe right now. And that's why the farmers, I think it's in the Netherlands, are screaming out.
All right, let's go out on a ledge here.
All right,
since we're in this realm, I've been watching. You sit here and you watch Bill Gates, and you watch him go on TED Talks, and him talking about population control and Bezos and all these things. And when you put these topics on a chart, like kind of like CSI in on the board, and you sit there and you look at all these woke agendas, and you look at the population control, the food control, transhumanism, all these different things. You sit here and that these guys that have these billions, almost trillions of dollars now are trying to control this. And it's like you sit there and they're all connected. I know this is way out there, but do you think so, or do you think it's
there's definitely some thought-provoking things happening in our world, to say the least.
I mean, how, I was just talking with Jake Johnson, who's in the General Assembly, and we were talking about the live birth bill that they're why do we have to make this a law that if a baby's born and the baby is alive, you can't kill it?
It's because we've allowed these radicals to take God out of everything. These people are godless people. And the thing is, we've got to have folks that are stepping up to the public square and speaking proudly and about God and preaching the word of God. Biblical principles is what we should be running our country on, and the Democrats and the radicals are just removing that from everything. And when you are like you said, when you are having to legislate and draft a bill to protect an innocent baby, it's disgusting. What has happened to our country? Have we gone mad?
Sandy, tell me how to get in touch with you. Tell me where I can go to donate money to you, because that's the ammo in your war chest, isn't it?
It is, and that's what we need. We need more ammo, because I'll tell you what, the Democrats have already spent $1.1 million on me. That's Nancy Pelosi and her Democratic war chest machine. If you want to help me out, I would love it. Please go to sandysmithnc.com. Click on that donate button. If you can donate $5, $25, full max out of 2,500 or more, that would be greatly appreciated. I can tell you my money it's going for things such as signs, radio, everything to get our message out there, because we've got to give the American people hope. They need to know that there is an option there, and by reinforcement is on the way. We just got to make sure we elect it and show up on November 8th.
And you can volunteer too.
Oh, absolutely. You can volunteer. It doesn't matter where you are in the state or the country. You can help my campaign.
Because you can sign up. Sandy, there's an app, and you can sign. So if you're in California and you want to help Sandy make phone calls,
you can actually make phone calls for me from California through our app, and we can get you set up. Now, if you live locally or you like to come to the district, we'd love to have you. We knock doors. You actually came out and knocked doors with your team, and it's been phenomenal. We've had people come from all over the country, as far as Maryland and New Jersey, to come down and knock for us. You came up and knocked. It's been great. I mean, even my mother-in-law, who lives out of state in Iowa, she makes phone calls for us, just asking folks to get out and vote. What's really cool about the app that people don't know, nobody can see your phone number, so it just self-dials for you. And so it's not like you have to call people on your personal phone. You can do it on your phone, or you can do it on the computer. It is fantastic. I'm telling you, technology is awesome.
Right. Before we go, one last question. Tell me, so you're excited that Trump endorsed you from the stage. I know over the past few weeks you've gotten some other pretty big endorsements. Tell me about the endorsements before we go.
Very good. Yes. Well, first of all, I am absolutely honored and proud to have President Trump's endorsement. I wear that with a badge of honor. Where the Democrats want us to run and knock us, I think it's great, because you know what? My opponent has Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. If you think that's something to be proud of, you need to go.
Chuck Schumer.
There you go, exactly. I've had fantastic endorsements. Just recently, as of a couple days ago, I don't know if it's been released yet, I was voted to become an official Young Guns with the NRCC, so that was really cool. Who else did I get endorsed by?
That's a big one, the NRCC. That's
yes.
huge.
That is huge. I got Elise Stefanik.
Okay.
She just endorsed me.
Another New Yorker.
A New Yorker, but she lives up in the more.
Once you get above the Tappan Zee Bridge. Notice I said the Tappan Zee Bridge, not the Cuomo Bridge. It's the Tappan Zee Bridge. Once you get above there, it's good country up there.
Absolutely. But I mean, I've had a ton of endorsements. Kim Klacik has endorsed my campaign. She's been a huge supporter out in Maryland. And if anyone hasn't, subscribed to her, check her out. She's doing fantastic things in her community. We had Richard Hudson endorse, who's a congressman here. We had Virginia Fox endorse. Well, who else? I'm trying to think. There's so many. I'm telling you. It's like...
Has law enforcement reached out to you?
I actually have a meeting this afternoon with law enforcement. I do have some personal law enforcement folks that have endorsed us. We also have, you put me on the spot, and I'm like, there's a whole slew of Bishop E.W. Jackson has endorsed my campaign. We had General Michael Flynn. A lot of people don't want those, but I don't think there's a problem with that. These are patriots that fought for our country.
The most important ones you forgot.
Oh, I was going to save the best for last.
Oh, okay. Sure, yeah.
Yes, and that's right. I did get the endorsement, the official endorsement of Citizen Media News, and I forgot to tell you another one.
What? Who?
My good friend, our Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson.
Really?
Yes.
He's going to be here later this afternoon.
And Congressman Burgess Owens, he endorsed. And Bob Good, he's another congressman that endorsed. Let me think. The head of the Freedom Caucus, Congressman Scott Perry, who, I'm going to tell you this, has been talking with President Trump and pushing for me for my endorsement. Matter of fact, President Trump mentioned him when we spoke. I also had Paul Gosar as a congressman out in Arizona. We also had the RNC chairwoman, Ronna McDaniels.
Right, yeah, I remember.
My brain's just like, it starts clicking. Also, the Border Patrol, or actually our former ICE director, Tom Homan, who is one of my good friends and a true patriot. And also the gentleman who's here today, Abdul Ali with Conservative Black Voices. and he endorsed, and
Floating around here.
yes, he
Somebody's
was,
walked by.
and Clarence Henderson.
Oh wow, Clarence is.
Yes.
And if you don't know who Clarence Henderson, he's one of the Smithfield Five back in the '50s who sat at the lunch counter at one of the stores, at one of the restaurants, when it wasn't the thing to do. And it's funny you bring that up because I'm going to digress a bit. I've been binge watching because the new Quantum Leap series is coming out.
Okay.
So I'm going back and watching the old Quantum Leap, and like the 4th or 5th episode, he jumps back into a black man from the 1950s, and it's kind of like Driving McDaisy kind of thing, and he's driving around this older lady, and he goes in because it's Sam Beckett. The character's name was Jesse, and he goes in and sits at the lunch counter, and all the people are like, and it's just it's funny or touching that you bring up the fact that Clarence Henderson has endorsed it, because I just watched that and it's emotional. Quantum Leap is really emotional, I think. But that's great. That's fabulous.
They're great. It's because and what's interesting and what's clear is I have well-rounded support from across the community. We have a large minority population in the district, and they have been supporting us. And so when I have folks like Clarence endorsing me, Bishop Jackson endorsing me, even Chuck Smith out of Virginia endorsing me, Bridgestone, that's speaking volumes. Kim Clay, that's showing that, look, I am a fighter, and I'm going to stand up and fight for the folks.
Right.
And that, Democrats are not the way to go.
One more time, say your website before we leave.
Sure, it's Sandy Smith, NC.com. Click on that donate button, and I would love your support. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you soon, Congresswoman Smith. Take care.